Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. I am, I'm sore, and I know why. I figured it out last night. It's the combination of the way I sleep and the pillow that's under my head. So what will happen is my head might be a little like this on the pillow, unless I have it angled more downwards, then it might be a little more flat. But I am laying on my shoulder, and my shoulder is pulled towards me, like pulled inwards more than it should be. So that's what's causing shoulder pains. Now, as for my back, well, I got the results in from my scans, and the L3 and L4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you put Miralax in there?
yeah.
Okay. You said yeah.
The L3 and L4 have light to moderate. I didn't say bulging, but compression. It's being compressed more than it should be. My L5S1 has moderate to severe compression. So basically, what they're saying to me is that the discs are shrinking, basically. And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna have to suffer with pain pretty much the rest of my life. And they're like, well, with pain management, we can keep your pain at a low level. And they suggested regular Tylenol unless it gets really bad. And then if it gets bad, to take the back spasm medication they gave me like months ago, which I'm like, okay, sure. But what if, it gets worse, that the medication you're giving me is not effective? And they're like, well, we'll deal with it when it happens. I'm like, well, it's already happening. So what are you going to do? So I've got to call them and talk to them about future plans or what we're going to do next. Because all I have so far is just the message through my portal. So I'm speculating what's going on. So forgive me for that. I just know what's currently happening is the back spasm medication is not as effective as it should be. Hence, my medical problems. 9 times out of 10, the medication that I'm put under will stop being effective after a couple months because my body becomes immune to the artificial chemicals within the medication. Yeah, that's what I've had to deal with all my life. Um, but otherwise, I mean, the pain, I've gotten so used to pain. I've become so numb to my own pains that I worry. Because if there's something serious going on, like when my pain happens in my side, I'm worried that it might be like my kidney or my liver or some other organ in that general vicinity that has to be taken care of. But my biggest problem is I jump to conclusions. I will be like, oh, wow, this is a new pain. It's pretty severe. You know, what could it be? I hope it's not this, or this. And, I don't try to manifest um, negative things in my body. I try to make sure my body is in working conditions and healthy. Excuse me, my eye is like itchy all of a sudden. But that's my medical issues right now. Jerry's. I sat in with the doctor, with Jerry and the doctor yesterday at her appointment dealing with her cancer. Well, good news is no new growth. Same news is everything is basically status quo. She still has um, weakening bone structure and tumors on the bone, which is causing the weakening bone. Her the mass on her kidney has gone up. It has increased by 16%, which is not something that they're like emergency situation. The doctor basically said if the mass gets to 25%, then they really start to, be totally concerned. Um, she did not start this week. She wants to wait another 4 weeks to see how her back does before she goes on to a new regimen, not the same old regimen, but a new regimen of chemo pill that between that new regimen plus the immunotherapy hopefully will not cause any skin issues. So, I mean, yeah, she's still got the cancer. She's still um she's still not out of the woods basically. But my biggest concern, and I tried to express it, but Jerry kept on interrupting as usual, was her limitations. Um, from what I could understand, is there are no new limitations. He still doesn't want her to lift anything above 15 pounds, or bend to, like he said she can bend over to pick up stuff, but he doesn't want her to bend more than a 60-degree angle. So I'm like, okay, well, she has her grabber tool to pick up after herself, and there's no limitations on like can't do this or can't do any house cleaning or anything like that, as long as she doesn't push herself. And I'm like, okay, but I'm not exactly happy with Jerry's attitude, because I mean she wants to keep on pushing the treatments off, which I'm like, no, no, don't push the treatments off. I can understand the concern and whatnot of her back, starting to be worse than it already is, or go back to the way it was, where it was just nasty and gross and bandages and ointments and trying to find the right tape that doesn't stick, doesn't leave like permanent marks or problems with her skin. Problem is, most of the tape that we used, it wouldn't leave any problems with her skin, did not stick very well. So it's just, I'm trying to look at it in a positive light, hoping that once she starts getting on the treatment again, yes, there will be days where she is just laid up because she's just too exhausted or too sore or whatnot. Because, from what I understand, most treatments for any kind of cancer can be exhausting. It can cause a person to just basically lose all energy and want to just stay in bed, which I'm hoping that's not the case, because I don't want her to stay in bed all the time. I love her to death, I really do, but there are just times where it's like, I've been with you for almost half a lifetime, and I'm starting to see all her tricks and whatnot to get what she wants, or what the negative side of her life, basically. Thing is, I'm just tired of arguing with her, and I'm just like, okay, you say you've done stuff around the house, even though I can't tell what the heck you done. I'm not gonna argue with it, because it's just like, it's a no-win situation. Basically, I'm at that point where I'm just automatically doing everything and not even worrying about her helping me, which sounds poor, but I've just gotten to the point where it's like I can't sit back and let my house get any worse than it already is. I mean, I've been trying to clean. I've been trying to get Jerry in here to help me with the stuff that's going to get rearranged or replaced or removed or whatever. I'm, excuse me, the belches. I'm just like, I just want things done. I'm tired of waiting for other people to make decisions. I'm tired of this. You know, she'll sit there and go, oh, well, I was waiting for you to tell me what you want to do. And I'm sitting there going, I've been waiting for you to tell me when you have the energy to do anything so I can make a decision of what I'm doing. You know, so I've gotten to the point where it's like, if I start doing it and she wants to help out and I think I need help, sure. But because I'm the one asking for help, we're going to do it my way. You know, otherwise, just sit there, relax, and grumble because I'm doing it my way and you don't like it, you know. Because the one room I've been looking at, because it's like right in my face, has been the kitchen and living room areas. And I'm like, Mom's got people coming in to help her with PT. Jerry may have people coming in helping her with whatever once she gets back onto the chemo. So it's kind of like I don't want these strangers coming into my house, seeing the wreck that my house is, and sit there and write a report about, you know, the dangers of tripping hazards or, you know, uncleanliness or stuff like that. And I don't need that. I don't want that. One of the major reasons why is because I don't want somebody to come in and go, okay, because your house looks like this, we're going to have to remove your mom, possibly your wife. And I'll be like, well, you know, the good thing about that is I'll be able to get the house done no time flat without, you know, interruptus maximus or anything like that. Because, you know, there's only so much I can do when people are around because I have to deal with them wanting things done their way. Now, I can understand my mom. Most of her stuff is in her rooms, and her rooms are tidy. Her rooms are clean. You know, it's the living room, the kitchen, the dining area, my bedroom, my bathroom, this room, Jerry Ann's craft room. So it's kind of funny, Jerry Ann's craft room. Because while we were gone, Lisa and the home health person, no, Lisa, yeah, we had people come in here, people who were part of the house and whatnot, come in here to try to clean up the kitchen area and whatnot. So a lot of the stuff that was in the kitchen, or the dining room area, not the kitchen, the dining room area, that was basically Joanne's crafting. They just basically pushed it in there and make sure you can get the door open and close, which is like, okay, it's fine by me. You know, it's all Jerry's stuff. She should be taking care of it. And if she ain't doing nothing about it, just stick it in the craft room and let it rot, for as I'm concerned. The guest room, which is now inoccupied, I told Jerry Ann, I said, for as I'm concerned, you leave that room alone. It's clean. You know, people can get in and out of there without any problems. I mean, she goes, well, I want to put all the decor back in there, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we'll work on that. But the problem is I'm not going to have it overloaded like it was before. You know, every wall covered in some sort of picture or painting. No. Because I've already told Jerry, if it gets to the point where we can't sleep together because of a puppy who's becoming a dog. I mean, almost full grown dog. And we're not getting proper enough sleep. I'll sleep in the guest room, let you and the dog stay in the bedroom. Well, last night we basically did what we were doing before. Is basically we were putting the puppy in her kennel. She is now at that, you know, she's trained enough to know that the kennel is not for discipline. It's for naps. It's time. It's for when it's time to go to sleep or time to rest. The only time we've ever used the kennel for discipline is because she wants to beg and jump up, to try to get people food. And I'm like, no, nah, nope, 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 nope. Well, she is smart enough to understand that, okay, we're going to bed, so I need to go in the kennel now. And I had no problem getting her in the kennel. I mean, I had to get the kennel from the living room to the bedroom, and the bedroom's not really big enough or suited for the kennel. That's one of the reasons why we were letting her sleep with us after we got back from vacation, because she was calm and cool and trained enough to know that you sleep at the feet. Even though she likes sneaking up towards our midsection in the middle of the night. But she's a really good dog. She's a really smart dog. I like the way she's turned out. Every so often she'll revert to her old ways and find a corner of the house to poop because she didn't want to be outside because it's too hot. So it's like, no, 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 no. And she gets her discipline for it. She gets her nose rubbed, well, not really smack that rubbed in her, but her nose is hovering right over it as I'm yelling at her saying, not inside, outside, And I don't smack her. I don't, I just let her know that she's doing stuff wrong. And, for the most part, she's a good dog. I mean, she doesn't like going outside by herself. I mean, if we put her outside by herself on the, what I call the yard chain, you just clip it, clip one into her collar and the other end is clipped on a stake in the middle of the yard. And sometimes she'll do her business, sometimes she'll just play. So it's hard to tell if she's done her business unless you're walking her. But when you're walking her, yeah, she'll find a location to do her business and be done with it. Unless she's basically trying to run all over the yard and yanking my arm out of socket, which is my right arm. It's my primary arm. But she does good. Yesterday, I was more upset at myself than Jerry because I was the one who wasn't pushing myself or getting the gumption, whatever you want to call it, to get up and do the housework, the cleaning up of the kitchen and the living room and whatnot. And I am now bound and determined to keep the dishes from stacking up, overnight, basically. And I'm bound and determined to basically go. I don't care who helps me. I don't care who's in the house, but I'm going to start the projects. I'm literally going to start doing the projects I want to do, and those projects are going to start in the kitchen because that is like food prep, food storage, and I know from the past that the dirtier your kitchen is, or the less upkept your kitchen is, the faster produce and other food items basically die. It's just not a lack of usage or anything like that. It's just the more corrupt, I would say, the environment is by dirt or pollutants or anything like that. The faster the produce seem to die. That and improper storage, which is part of the issue. What I'd like to do is get one of those hanging baskets so I can be like, put the pears here, the apples there, the tangerines there, and the bananas on next to the tangerines. Those little tangerellos or whatever they are. Little, what are they called? The little cuties. I think that's what they're called. Jerry likes those. So does Oreo. I keep on telling Jerry, you can feed Oreo, you can give Oreo a piece of fruit or something like that after you basically washed it and cleaned it. And you can give her natural foods, produce, meat, chicken, things like that. As long as one, meat does not have any bones. Two, there's no what I call pre-prepped foods like boxed items, like hamburger helper or anything like that. No, there's too many artificial ingredients. In fact, I'm trying to keep away from that. I do apologize. I was going to start doing some Nordic cooking and whatnot, but this week things kind of got awry. Um, so I have not been able to cook anything anything on from the cookbooks yet. Mostly because of just things lately have been out of hand. And one of the things I want to start doing is every doctor's appointment, basically everything that has an appointment that's going on, I want to know about it so I can put it in my calendar and be able to decide how to work around those appointments. Like, what was it? Yesterday there was two different appointments. Jerry had one in the morning, that was her doctor, and Mom had one with her doctor right after that. So we ended up going to our local Steak and Shake that's still in operation. It's changed a lot, but it's still in operation. They don't have waitresses anymore. You go up, you punch in your order to the kiosk, and you sit down and wait for them to call out your name or number, which is kind of like good in a way because less hassle, and the person who owns this particular Steak and Shake can keep his business in operation. The downside is there's nobody to bust the tables. So if somebody decides that they're going to leave their tray of food and whatnot on the table and not bust it themselves like some people would think to do, either somebody who wants to use that table has to bust it themselves, or somebody has to let the employees know, hey, this table over here was not taken care of by the customer. And I can point out who the customer was, or at least their what am I thinking? Their nationality. I don't want to do that because that will make me seem racist, which I'm not. I'm just pointing out that these particular people from this particular, they look like they're from this particular country, just got up and left and didn't even try to clean up their own mess. So, yeah, there's good sides and there's bad sides about stuff like that. But, yeah. Oh, here's a piece of news. And I can understand, after reading up on the information or reading up on the areas, Jerry Ann actually made a comment the other day that she's thinking about maybe we should move to the Southwest. She doesn't want to really live in a desert region, but she doesn't want to live in a region that's going to be cold, because if we take Mom with us, we don't want her to be too cold in the wintertime. And, well, granted, I'm the one who said southern Colorado, like Boulder, yeah, they get some snow, but they don't get like extreme cold or extreme hot like somewhere in Arizona or even in Nevada. And I said, well, when are you talking about doing this? Are you really serious about it? I mean, granted, me being the person I am, I'd be happy to move to a new location. I just don't want to live in the desert. I don't want to live in areas that's going to get above 110, let alone 105. And my brain went, okay, she doesn't want to really go to Colorado because of the snow and whatnot. And then my brain was going, well, let's see here. Cost of living is cheaper in Prescott, Arizona, Sedona, Arizona, possibly Flagstaff, but most likely not Flagstaff because it snows there. But it doesn't get extremely cold like New York or Missouri. And then I was thinking, oh man, Sedona, Arizona, that's like a spiritual mecca for people like me. So I don't know if she's serious or not. I said, let's do some research, and she says, well, last night she said she didn't get around to it because I suggested a couple different places. And she's like, well, I haven't really done the research. And I said, well, I've already done some research. And yeah, these particular places that I've looked up, cost of living is not that high. Not that high. They have better. They definitely have better medical and services for people with health issues, senior citizens, stuff like that. And I won't have to deal with that much allergens. Well, no, I will have to deal with some allergens because the winds from during the I can't even pronounce it. The winds that come and go from California through Arizona because of the Grand Canyon does carry a lot of pollutants nowadays. I don't really want to live in a desert region. Sedona is smack dab in the middle of Arizona in the mountains. So it does have its desert regions and its desert climate and all that. And Prescott has more pine trees and whatnot than cacti. So it's kind of like one of those, make up your mind. Quit playing on your damn tablet. Do some freaking research. Now, quit playing your games. Do your research. If you're not going to do your research and I have to do it for you, I'm going to choose. I'm going to make the choice. I'm going to talk. I'll sit down and talk to mom and make a choice. I know from mom she'd want to live somewhere like Prescott. She talked about another town in Arizona, and I can't remember where it is, but I think it was called Williamsburg, which is close to Phoenix. And I'm like, that's a little too far south into the desert regions because I'd rather live in Prescott or Flagstaff or in somewhere in between because you'll have your four seasons. There's a whole lot of variety of doing things that I would love to do. I mean, hiking, camping, trail rides. I sit there and I keep on telling myself I need to do more of that here, but then anytime I go talking about it, Jay goes, well, I can't keep up with you. And I'm like, it's not for you. It's for me to get out of the house and get with nature and not feel, jammed into a peg when a peg won't do. I need something a little bit more roundish, But, and of course, my reason for Colorado is a little selfish because if I lived in like Boulder and can go exploring, maybe, just maybe, if it's in the web of my life, run into meet Mary Summer Rain or something of that accord. But this is just me being me. But yeah, my reasons for Colorado is kind of selfish. But with mom's health the way it is, I think it'd be better for her to be in a place that has better medical coverage in general, in general medical coverage and a few things like that. Okay, that's mom's PT person. But it's a combination of my I don't know what you want to call it, my spirit, my soul, just the way I was raised, but it's like been here in Missouri again for 10 years. I'm ready for a new location, someplace I've not been yet. And that's why I was like Colorado, upper Arizona. Don't really want to be anywhere in Nevada. Jerry was talking about like Albuquerque or Santa Fe, and I'm like, that's kind of desert region. Kinda. I don't remember Albuquerque, but there's a town that's basically a suburb of Albuquerque, something Rancho. But it's supposed to be a small community with mostly retired people. And again, kind of selfish in my brain. If we can move to some place that the cost of living are lower than what we're dealing with now, and I can do more YouTubing um, between my YouTubing, maybe Jerry's YouTubing if she gets back on it, um, her SSDI. I'm not even considering mom's, retirement income, but if Jerry Ann and I could afford to live pretty much on our base income without me having a job, um, maybe it would be better for both of us. I don't know. Um, I don't want a job because I want to be able to do more of my thing and, you know, be able to be home all the time to care for Jerry. Um, I thought about trying to get an online job, but I don't have the skill or the speed of typing or anything like that. Um, so it depends. There's a lot of things that depends because I mean, if we move to like Sedona and I can get a job at a metaphysical shop or something like that, or something along those lines, basically, that would be up my alley. That would make me happy as can be. Um, because I'll be honest with you. I'm tired of working fast food. I am tired of working grocery stores. I want a different venue. I want something that I don't have to do a lot of lifting or bending or anything that's gonna um, cause me any aches and pains. Unfortunately, that is life. I have to deal with what I have and what I need. Otherwise, I don't know, might be living high on the hog if I didn't, if I didn't have to deal with a lot of modern day annoyances like jobs. But I do what I have to do for my family. Um, there are days that I might be as grumpy as all get out and just don't feel like being there. There are other days that I'm just like, hey, it's a good day. There's not a lot of people. There's not a lot of stressors. Um, but my stress levels I have realized lately is more job oriented than home oriented, which I'm happy for because that means I can be home and not be feeling stressed out and you know do things at my pace basically. At work, it's you've got X amount of time to get all these things done before you go home. And I might get yelled at when I get to work today because I went home almost an hour early because we were done with everything. I mean, I did the breads, I did all the dishes, I did the floors. You know, everything was pretty much done. So I just didn't feel like sticking around just to twiddle my thumbs and not earn the money. And that's my thing is if I'm going to be getting money, I'm going to earn it. I'm going to bust my butt to earn that paycheck, not sit there and, oh, well, there's nothing to do. What can we do? Let's just go hide someplace. No, I'm sorry. Now, if I knew how to do certain things in other parts of the store, I would be in those parts of the store helping out. But I'm I'm not there to kill myself. I'm there to do my job, and once my job is done, unless the boss is there to say, "Hey, you guys can help out with this, this, and this," um, I'm not gonna worry about it. You know, so it's one of those. I did my job. Nobody was around to say anything about what else we could do. I wasn't gonna stand there with my thumbs up my rump, waiting for somebody to tell me what to do. I decided to go home. And if anybody questions me about that, I'll say, "Look, I actually have more important things to deal with at my house than I do at my job. And if everything's done in my department, I'm not going to go scurrying off to a different department to try to help them out when I don't even know what to do in their department. It don't make sense to me. But that's just me. Anywho, no medical appointments today, otherwise I probably wouldn't be able to do this. I've got to sit down and decide what. Man, time flew today. I'm going to have to sit down and decide what to make for lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it. The midday meal, the only big meal that we do here at the house because I'm the only cook now. Even though Joy says that she can cook things on our electric griddle at the kitchen table, which I may or may not do. Because I had this nice menu planned out for the week, and we haven't even done anything yet. And I either gotta cook them or put them back in the freezer. Got a pair of steaks that I've been wanting to. On the big steak, so basically, if I chopped them in half or cut them in half, it'd be 4 medium-sized steaks. If I can cook those and prep side dishes, we should be all right. I don't know. I'll look at it and see what I can do. But anyhow, I guess that's all for today. So hopefully you enjoyed today, the rest of the week. Hopefully I'll have a video out for tomorrow, or this video will be out for tomorrow. I don't know yet. But anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment box. If you're new to my channel and choose to join, that's up to you. You can hit the subscription button and a little bell will pop up, and then you click on that bell and YouTube will let you know when I put in my next video. So until next time, you guys have a good day. Bye.